Andrew, do stay with us as we move on to our next story. And we move to a related development. And Iran has sharply condemned the United States military action against Venezuela, calling it a blatant violation of national sovereignty and international law. Iran has also warned that forcibly detaining the leader of another country is illegal and unacceptable under international norms, and asked for the release of the Venezuelan president. Let's listen in to what Iran's foreign ministry has said on the issue.
اصل نقض حاکمیت ملی و تمامیت سرزمینی یک کشور به هیچ عنوان قابل توجیه نیست، با همه معیارها و موازین حقوق بین‌المللی در تعارض هست و بدعتی که ایجاد شد قطعاً تبعاتش، پیامدهاش دامنگیر کل جامعه بین‌المللی خواهد شد. چیزی که ما داریم به عنوان منشور سازمان ملل متحد به عنوان حقوق بین‌الملل معاصر نتیجه تجربه بشری بعد از دو جنگ جهانی است. لذا این اقدام مطلقاً محکوم و مردود هست و طرف‌هایی که دست به این جنایت و این تجاوز نظامی زدن قطعاً باید در پیشگاه جامعه بین‌المللی.
Additionally, Tehran has also rejected US claims of criminal charges against Maduro, arguing that no country's domestic laws can be used to justify violating another state's sovereignty. At the same time, Iranian officials have said that the country remains alert to what it described as psychological and media pressure from the United States and Israel. Andrew, of course, we heard Donald Trump get on that plane pretty much directly after the operation was carried out in the Venezuelan capital, where he spoke out about a plethora of countries, Iran, of course, being one of them, and the Trump administration and the United States in general, really. Of course, a huge critique of the Iranian regime and the Iranian leader Ayatollah Khamenei. How do you think the Iranians will be looking now that the United States has conducted an action like this? Do you think it will suppress some of its restrictions on its people, or do you think it'll act differently when it comes to governing? How do you think that situation will unfold, particularly, of course, with these ongoing protests in the country that have killed up to 35 people now?
Well, I would make two comments, one of which is that sovereign governments around the world, friendly to the US or unfriendly to the US, are of course going to come out in favor of and support of the norm of sovereignty, of non-interference in the internal affairs of countries. That's in every country's best interest, and even if they don't like Maduro, and even if they don't like the United States, it doesn't really matter. They're going to come out in favor of sovereignty. The second point I would make is that if I were one of the leaders in Tehran, I would be much more concerned about what's going on in my streets right now than what the United States is up to, because it's very likely that within the foreseeable future, that regime will be ousted not by American Delta Force operators, but by the Iranian people who have had just about enough of that tyrannical, theocratic regime.
Indeed. Andrew Latham, thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World. It's a pleasure to speak to you as always. Thanks for